My parents gave me to my uncle and his wife. Now I have to watch as I get siblings who are allowed to live happily with them while I was never allowed to. I didn't grow up with my parents, but with my uncle and his wife. They always wanted to have a child. However, as his wife was infertile due to a hormonal imbalance, she was unable to have children and my parents dropped me off when I was 6. Back then, I was always told that my parents weren't able to take care of a child and that's why they left me with my uncle. My father hasn't bothered to look after me since then. For the first 2 years after they gave me away, my mother visited me from time to time. She always told me how much she loved me despite everything and we spent a few nice afternoons together from time to time. I always hoped that they would come and get me. Because even though my uncle and his wife loved me unconditionally, I could never get the feeling that they were my parents. It felt more like spending the night with a relative every day, but actually living somewhere else. But at some point, my mother stopped visiting me. We wrote a few more times, but these chats always came from me and she showed no more interest. I found out that she was pregnant with my little brother at the time and my sister was born a year later. Around that time, we moved house and a bit closer to my parents. They visited us from time to time. At least my mother did and she brought my little siblings with her. I don't know why, but my mother suddenly treated me very differently. She introduced me to my siblings as a cousin and not as a brother and she herself treated me very distantly. She didn't even hug me, she just shook my hand even though I was still a child. She didn't even want me to call her Mom. In the conversations that followed, she talked about how well her family was doing, that my father was working hard and that they were doing very well financially. My siblings wanted to play with me, but all I could think about was that I wanted her to take me with her. In the years that followed, not only did I see my second sister being born, but I also saw them go on family vacations. I saw them have family rituals, their Christmas photos and so much more. And each time something broke inside me. I just wanted the same attention as the rest of my siblings. My mother denies that I am her son and this whole situation is just awful for me. I even tried to make direct contact with them by inviting them to my graduation party. None of them came except my uncle and his wife. And don't get me wrong, I love my uncle and his wife and I will be forever grateful to them for being there for me. But that won't change the fact that the behavior hurt me badly and I haven't gotten over it yet. I am going to therapy but I will never forget this terrible feeling of being rejected by my parents, especially my mother.